Yes, sir. What's the deal, everybody? It's your boy, I'm Mac, welcoming you to the Leisure Time Podcast Sports Talk, where we discuss some of the hottest sports topics going on in the world. Before or after you watch this video, please subscribe to the Leisure Time Podcast LLC YouTube page so you won't miss none of our content. Also, to those can't get to YouTube, please go download our audio versions or listen to our audio versions on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud. Thanks. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are joined now with my dog, Flex. Flex, what's the deal, bro?
Man, what's going on? Leisure Time Podcast. Get at me. They finally got me.
Get at me, man. It's been a long time coming, man. We took a little hiatus. Had to take the summer off a little bit. In the spring and the fall, we had to buff up. But now it's time to get back on and get people what they want, some of this sports content, Flex. So, Flex, loud, noisy off season for the Lakers, but not a lot of movement within that core, right? So just tell me what's your thoughts on the Lakers off season so far, and then ultimately let's talk about that Pat Bev trade to the Lakers.
Well, as far as the Lakers moves, this offseason, I'm kind of disappointed, bro. I felt like we were held hostage with the whole KD thing. I felt everybody, didn't want to make no moves because everybody wanted to see what KD was going to do. And we, fell under that because whatever KD decided to do, that's what was going to happen with Kyrie. And I felt we were just held hostage, bamboozled, swindled. And eventually we just had to get whatever we could get. I like the pickup of Lonnie Walker.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's going to be a nice pickup, replace what Malik Monk was bringing for us. Juan Toscano-Anderson, championship mindset. Scottie Pippen Jr., he looked real good in Summer League. So I feel like he might can earn the starting role depending on if a particular point guard stay in the city.
Facts. I mean, I'm all with you, man. Obviously, Scottie Pippen's emergence, Jr., I may say, his emergence in the Summer League was something great to watch. He's a traditional point guard, somebody that I feel that probably can unlock that pick and roll game with AD. That's something that, when Bron decided not to play the point after we won the championship, we wanted to play some more of the three. I feel like that pick and roll action with him and AD, him and Dwight, him and JaVale that we had when we won the championship, that's kind of missing. Last year it was missing for sure. As far as Lonnie, man, I feel like Lonnie's microwave, man. I'm not gonna lie. Every time I do like a My League on 2K or something, he's always on my team. Like I always get Lonnie Walker, and I just be getting buckets with him. So I'm hoping some of my 2K magic translate to reality, goddamn, with him, because I think he's a special player for sure. Flex, what's your thoughts on the whole? What's your thoughts on the whole Pat Bev going to the Lakers dynamic? Russ on the Lakers. Do you think that this is something that is the Lakers are trying to trigger Russ to a buyout or something, or trying to like irk his nerves to get him to go, or do you think this is a genuine move to really help this roster with the mindset of Russ, AD, Bron still all being there?
Well, I don't think anybody can bring another player in to get me to go, you know what, I don't want this 47 mil, I'm out. That's too much money to just up and leave, bro. And I know they had the history and it's never been good. Pat Bev, he took a little dive at the ball, hurt Russ, put him out for the season.
He did.
It's a lot of talk, Pat Bev just running around doing nothing, all that. But honestly, I do feel it's a good move because it brings that dog. We haven't had no dog in the locker room, I feel. And no disrespect to anybody, on the team. I just don't feel we have nobody that's going to get in your face and call you out. And sometimes you don't have to be the best player to do that. So I think
absolutely. I'm
with you. It'll be interesting.
I'm with you on that. I mean, I felt like in 2020 when we won the championship, I feel like Dwight kind of brought it a little bit, but obviously his play kind of declined dramatically over the last 2 years. I feel like the back injuries starting to creep. One thing about sports, bro, when you start hurting your back, especially, at some of those power position centers in basketball, linemen in football, you know what I'm saying? That lower back, you use that to bend, to squat, to get that power, right? And I feel like Dwight lost a lot of that. So what you're saying, Pat Bev bringing that menace. I also think that he brings a little bit of playmaking. He's a guy that averaged 4 assists last year in the playoffs. Did a hell of a job, I felt, initiating the offense for the Minnesota Timberwolves. D'Angelo Russell did not have a good series against the Grizzlies, but I felt like Pat Bev gave him a spark, gave him an energy. And I feel that if we can get that kind of Pat Bev, somebody that offensively he could spot up and shoot some threes. Offensively, he could cut to the basket, when Bron is in an isolation situation to get a quick assist or something like that. I do feel that he's that scrappy player, bro. But at the same time, we all know the locker room is everything, right? The locker room, the dynamics in the locker room. How is the locker room? What's the flow? What's the vibe of the locker room? If you have two guys that's important to your team, not necessarily liking each other, bro, how is that going to work, Flex? How would you like it if, what I'm saying, bro, you ain't got no enemies in your life, but say if you had somebody that just don't like you, all of a sudden your teammates, how would you feel about that, bro? What do you think Russ's mindset is right now?
It definitely can be, kind of weird for you. For example, because say if a guy just going hard at practice and he accidentally hit you, oh, he trying to hurt me. He did this. It's gonna have that kind of, rather than if somebody else do it, you won't say nothing. Oh, he just playing ball. But if he do something just off the simple fact that you don't like him because of the, past history you guys have, it can persuade you to think a certain way about this individual. Absolutely. And honestly, I feel like, they grown man. They can talk about it at the end of the day and, put their shoes on. They can play one-on-one for all I care. Get it out. Get it out.
The facts.
One common goal.
Yeah, I understand that. And obviously, I don't think that fists are going to be thrown. Basketball is such a different sport than football. Football is kind of like, you get out there on the field. If Pat Bev was a DB, Russell's a receiver, they kind of, after they first one-on-ones, kind of scrap.
Yeah,
and that's that. And they're good after that, right? In basketball, obviously the mentalities is a lot different. I'm not saying they're soft, right? But I am definitely saying that the mentality of pro NBA basketball players is definitely different than, pro football players, and things of that nature, right? Your thoughts real quick on this whole idea of LeBron James and Bronny James possibly being on teams. Like, what's your quick thoughts on that? And, we seen it a little bit with the Griffies, right? So what's your thoughts on Bronny possibly making it to the NBA and Bron possibly staying that long to be his teammate?
I think it's definitely possible, bro. LeBron going into what, year 20?
Year 20, dog.
He averaged 30 last year down there. So I definitely think Bronny is a junior?
Yep.
So
he's a junior or senior, about to be a senior, I want to say.
So 2 more years then.
2 more years.
Rules. I definitely think LeBron can keep playing at a pretty high level and he signed for 2 more years.
Yep, fact.
So he'll be a free agent. So depending if Bronny gets drafted, he can, I'm coming here too. Yeah, that'll definitely be interesting. It don't matter if let's think of a team. The Kings get Bronny James. Yeah. LeBron's going. It don't matter.
Yeah. Facts.
That's the story. Facts. They can not win no games, and they're gonna talk about him every day.
Bro, I can't imagine the pressure the young man's feeling though. Goddamn, it's like everybody expects you to bro. As soon as you go to college after that first year, you got to go lead.
Yeah.
He don't have the luxury of, develop, he has the luxury of developing. Obviously, LeBron is not forcing his kid to automatically, hey, you know what, dude, you got to be, at least I don't think so, right?
Right.
I don't think so, at least, right? So, I wonder what kind of pressure the kid has, right? Developing, right, bro? Playing in the NBA is harder than even playing in the NFL, bro. You got to realize with the numbers, lesser teams, the numbers, right? The body of players in the world that play basketball. I tell my little brother this all the time. In football, it's Americans, usually 90, 95, 98% of the time, it's Americans competing against Americans to make NFL rosters. In basketball, however, it's Americans, it's Croatians, it's Australians, it's the whole world competing for them 15 roster spots, right? So that is the difference. That's the tweak right there, man, Flex. Last thoughts before I get you going, Flex. Last thoughts before I get you going, man. So Anthony Davis, right? Obviously, I keep up with all the cowards, the Baylesses, the A. Smiths, all those guys, right? You keep up, you hear the talks over the summer, what's going on, yada, 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 yada. Obviously, in the beginning of the summer, everybody was on AD because he was on a podcast or it was on an interview saying that he didn't touch a basketball since the season was over. It was a big debacle, big thing everybody was going after. And then a week after that, he was with Lethal Shooter waking up at 4 a.m. doing workouts. So what is your expectations? What is your expectations on Anthony Davis? And what do you think that the Laker Nation need from him for us to be successful again?
Well, my expectations for AD, I seen the player he could be, man. I seen it. People want to talk about, oh, it was the bubble. Hey, I seen him play half that season before we was in a bubble. I seen what he could do. Last year, I believe he played almost 40 games less than Giannis, and Giannis barely had a couple more blocks in him.
Yes, facts.
So AD, he is dynamic, man. Tremendous talent. I just don't know if he has that drive, that will to win anymore. Because he won his championship. He did what he probably set out to do in the NBA. So I don't know.
A lot of Aaron Rodgers in there.
Yeah,
a lot of Aaron Rodgers in with AD.
Yeah, I just need him to push himself. Maybe go try to win MVP.
Absolutely. I mean, we'll see, man. I mean, I'm a big believer in AD. Shoot, I got his jersey, right? Big believer in AD, but at the same time, man, injuries and health is something that obviously you can't predict. But I do think is a certain level of prevention you can take as far as eating right, as far as lifting right. As far as doing meaningful lifts too. It's funny, the other day you sent me that video of that one dude doing like a one-arm squat with the kettle. I'm like, it's funny. It's so funny to me how these people create all these new workouts and try to look cool on the gram or whatever. But it's like, bro, get under the squat rack, get in your power cleans, get in your deadlifts, get in your bench press, right? Do the traditional shit that's been working for years, right? And I'm hoping AD is doing that traditional stuff, and I'm hoping that he, getting them legs a little bit bigger, man, doing some squats. Honestly, that's what I think he needs to do some squats. Bro.
What's the craziest thing though about AD, man? He's been getting nicked and nacked and hurt his whole career, but yet you got a guy in the locker room who's been 20 years in, no significant major injuries. Ask him some questions. Go work with him. Get some free game,
He must not be approachable or something, because I know me personally, if I was in the locker room with LeBron James, I would be trying to soak up all the knowledge. Right. I would be like how Kobe Bryant was to Michael Jordan. Right. If you look at some of the documentaries and keep calling him, and Jordan like, God damn, like, he keep calling me. Like, but I coach a little bit, and I tell kids this all the time, guys, like, you gotta take your success, you gotta take your career into your own hands sometimes, right? Like, only a coach, a role model can only teach you so much, get you so far, right? But it comes a point in your time when your mentality gotta want it, and you gotta put in the work to get where you want to be, right, man? So there you go, right there. It's my boy Flex, man. Appreciate you joining the show, bro. Appreciate you, bro. Man. I'm gonna holler at you, big dog.
Bro, Leisure Time. Get at me, dog.
Get at him, man. Get at him. Yes, sir, man. So that was my boy Flex, man, joining the show real quick, talking about, obviously our Los Angeles Lakers. Man, I am so happy to be back, giving you all this good sports content. What we're going to be doing a little bit different this year and this time around with the Leisure Time Sports Talk is, 1 to 2 episodes a week, dropping 10 to 15 minutes. And I'm just going to talk some of the hottest sports topics, right? The whole Pat Bev to the Lakers thing had everybody shooken up a little bit. Obviously, I always liked Pat Bev. I just didn't like the fact he was a Clipper. I love his energy. I love his tenacity. And he is somebody that all young basketball players, all aspiring, professional athletes should look at. Doing the little things and doing the little things hard and being true to yourself can take you a long way. So there you have it, folks. Pat Bev to the Lakers. I'm going to be dropping this real soon. Make sure you subscribe below on YouTube, right? The Leisure Time Podcast LLC. Also, follow me on Twitter, man. Follow us on Twitter, Podcast Leisure. Follow us on Instagram, The Leisure Time Podcast. Man, we got a lot of cool stuff coming up this year, right? I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace.